Vaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we'd like to welcome all devotees for today's Bhagavatam class. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 7. Chapter is entitled Further Inquiries of Vidura. Verse number 3. Kridayam udyamorvasya Kridayam udyamorvasya Kamaischikir Dishanyata Kamachikir Dishanyatah Swatripyatasya Katham Swatripyatasya Katham Nivritasya Sadanyatah Nivritasya Sadanyatah Kridayamudhyamorvasya Kamaischikir Swatasya triptasya katham cha katham Nivritasya sadanyatah Kridayamudhyamorvasya Swatastriptyascha katham Kridayamudhyamorvasya Kamaisthirchikridanyatah Swatastriptasya cha katham Nivritasya sadanyatah. Word to word meaning. Kridayam, in the nature of playing. Udyamaha, enthusiasm. Arbhasya, of the boys. Kamaha, desire. Chikir dishaha, willingness to play. Anyataha, with other boys. Swata triptasya, for one who is self-satisfied. Cha, also. Katham, what for. Nivritasya, one who is detached. Sada, at all times. Anyataha, otherwise. Translation. Boys are enthusiastic to play with other boys or with various diversions because they are encouraged by desire. But there is no possibility of such desire for the Lord because he is self-satisfied and detached from everything at all times. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one without a second, there is no possibility that anything besides Him can exist. He expands Himself by His energies in multiforms of self-expansions and separated expansions as well. Just as fire expands itself by heat and light, since there is no other evidence besides the Lord Himself, the Lord's association with anything manifests His association with Himself. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina matsthani sarva bhutani na chaham tesha vastitaha. The complete manifestation of the cosmic situation is an expansion of the Lord Himself in His impersonal feature. All things are situated in Him only, yet He is not in them. That is the opulence of the Lord's attachment and detachment. He is attached to everything, yet He is detached from all. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatham Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I would like to seek the blessings of all the devotees present here, that I may be able to speak something on this exalted subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam for my own purification and for the pleasure of devotees. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3 and the 7th chapter, which is entitled Inquiries, Further Inquiries by Vidura. So this discussion, last couple of chapters we are having on the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya Muni. And Vidura is seeking the guidance which Lord Krishna had given for him through Maitreya Muni. And here in today's verse, as the translation says, the boys are enthusiastic to play with other boys or with various other diversions because they are encouraged by desire. But there is no possibility of such desire for the Lord because he is self-satisfied and detached from everything at all times. So, we can see that this entire creation has been created by the Supreme Lord personally. And he is involved in each and every atom. In fact, he expands himself as various plenary forms, as the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Karunodakshay Vishnu, as Paramatma. And in fact, he is present in each and every atom. So, that's why Prabhupada is saying that in this entire interaction, the Lord is interacting with himself in various forms. But normally, when we create something, then we become attached to that. Just like when a boy and girl, they come together in marriage and then they have a child. So that child, he becomes their center of their entire world because he has been created by them. So, similarly, if we are maintaining something, we may not have created, but if we are given the responsibility of maintaining something, then also we develop attachment for that, or we become possessive about that. Many a times, something is given to you under your care, then you don't want to share it with someone. Because you say that if I give it to someone, and especially if it is a valuable something which you like very much, then you feel, if I give it to someone, it may get spoiled or destroyed. So we become very possessive and attached. But here we see that it is described in this verse that the Lord, he is creating this universe, he is entering into each and every particle, and then eventually he maintains the entire thing. And eventually he is the cause of destruction. So it shows both his attachment, that he is taking care of each and every particle, each and every Jivatma who is coming here. He is expanding himself as a Paramatma in his heart and being there with him through all times, through thick and thin. And eventually he also arranges for the dissolution or the so, and here we can see that the main reason is because the Lord is self-satisfied. He does not need anything from outside for his own pleasure. Like it is said, Swatas Triptyasya Chakatham. He is satisfied within himself itself. He does not need anything else. In fact, Prahlad Maharaj also, in one of his prayers in the 7th canto, he says, Naivatmana prabhurayam nijalabha purno manam janada vidusha karuno vrinite yad yajjano bhagavate vidadhita manam tatchatmane pratimukhasya yatha mukhashri. He is saying, Naivatmana prabhur nijalabha purno. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Nija labha purno. Therefore, when anything is offered to the Lord, the offering, actually, it's by the Lord's mercy. It is not for his benefit. It is for the benefit of those who are making that offering or the service. And so, in devotional service, when we are offering various types of things, actually everything has been given to us by the Lord himself. We are offering deity worship, we are offering so many bhoga items. After making, we first offer it to the Lord. The various dresses, the jewelries, the beautiful decoration, this entire temple hall which has been created. Everything is an offering to the Lord and for the benefit of his devotees. But all this is being done for whose benefit? The Lord is self-satisfied. He does not need anything, but by offering it, the devotee or the person who makes the offering, he gets benefited. Just like example is given in this verse itself by Prahlad Maharaj. He says, just like when you want to decorate the reflection in the mirror, if you try to decorate the reflection by using any decorative items, you will not be successful, because as soon as your face shifts, the decoration will become meaningless. But if you decorate the face, then the reflection in any place on the mirror, it will also become very beautiful and decorated. So similarly, if we serve the Lord, if we offer whatever we have in the service of the Lord, then the Lord is happy for us, and we also become happy in the satisfaction and in the pleasure of the Lord. So in Bhakti Yoga, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that the various limbs of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedam, these 9 limbs, these service, by engaging them in the service of the Lord, it will benefit only us only. And only when Lord says that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja, it is only the foolish person who feels that, oh, the Lord is very autocratic, or he is very proud, and that he is saying that you must surrender to me. But actually he is giving this instruction for our own benefit. Because as human beings, individually and collectively, when we surrender everything to the Supreme Personality of God and in Krishna consciousness, all of the human society will benefit. And one who does not dedicate everything to the Supreme Lord, he is called in this verse as a vidishu, or an ignorant, or a person who is a miscreant or a dushkritino. So today, and here we can also see that the Lord is always self-satisfied. Even this pastime is there where when Lord appears as Naranarayan Rishi and he is offering penance, Indra becomes very worried that, oh, is he trying to usurp my throne? Does he want to take my place? And just to disturb his penance, he sends various apsaras from the heavenly planets. But Naranarayan Rishi, he is not disturbed by this mischievous activity of Indra. In fact, he sends, he returns back those apsaras, and along with them he sends his own gift, Urvashi, who was created from his thigh. And Indra becomes so attracted to her that she becomes one of the chiefest damsels of Indra. So here we can see that by serving the Lord and by following in the footsteps of the message given by him through his beloved devotees, through the spiritual master and various acharyas, all the Vedic scriptures are giving us this same very knowledge, so that we can perfect our life as human beings. So today is also the most auspicious disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Shri Gadadhar Panditji. So it is, although I am totally unqualified to speak anything about such great personalities, but still it is my fortune, I would say, that I got a chance to again go through the scriptures, the book Seven Goswami, and some of the lectures of my seniors and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj on the glories of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So just a few days back, I was given the service of translating one of the lectures by Keshav Chandra Prabhu on time management. And in the beginning, he mentions about how the lifestyle of Bhakti Vinod Thakur was there. That what his daily schedule was there. He was within 24 hours, he would do so many more activities that we can't even imagine. So, Srila Prabhupada, his Guru Maharaj was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's spiritual master was Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj actually took Siksha from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So, this entire disciplic succession of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur is one of the first acharyas who actually revolutionized the preaching, and in a very, very big way, not only in India but throughout the world. In fact, in 1896, he wrote a book called Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, His Life and Precepts. And he sent it to different parts of the world, including one University of McGill in Germany. And in that he prophesies that when will that time come when the Europeans, Americans, Russians and all would come to Sridham Mayapur, study the teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and chant and dance in Kirtan, calling out, Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari, Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari. And this was in the year 1896. And that same year, who was born? Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And who actually made this true. And in fact, once Srila Prabhupada was asked that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had sent this his book, The Life and Teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then why did not he himself preach all over the world and do that, fulfill this prophecy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Prithvi che aate jatan agradi gram, sarvatra prachar hoibe moranam. So, Srila Prabhupada very humbly, he replied that he could have very well done it, but he left that service to fallen souls like me. So, Prabhupada gives the credit of spreading this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the vision and life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, when we chant the pranam mantra of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Murtaye Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate. And I offer my humble obeisances, O Bhakti Vinod, who is Satchidananda Namini, who is the form of eternity, knowledge and bliss. He is Gaura Shakti Swarupaya. He is the incarnation of Gauranga's potency, and Rupanuga Varayate. He is the best of the followers of Rupa Goswami. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's his transcendental identity is revealed, and as he is one of the best of followers of Rupa Manjari, who is actually the leader of Lalita Sakhi's entourage. And Lalita Sakhi, as we all know, she is one of the principal Sakhis of the Ashta Sakhis. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his writings himself, he has indicated his divine identity. He says in Kalyana Kalpataru, Yugala Sevya Shri Rasa Mandale Niyukta Karam Amay Lalita Sakhir Ayogya Kinkari Vinod Dhariche Paya. And he says that I am the unworthy servant of Lalita Sakhi, and in the service of the divine couple, I am holding their lotus feet. Also, in Siddha Lalsa, in the Gita Mala, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he reveals his spiritual identity as Kamala Manjari. He means he is assistant to Rupa Manjari. He's over there. She is known as Kamala Manjari, and she is in the Vrajananda Sukhananda Kunja, where she maintains the standard of deity worship over there for the divine couple. It is written that Varnite Tarjit Vasa Taravali Kamala Manjari Naam Sari Baro Varsha Vayas Satata Swananda Kunja Dham, Swananda Sukhada Dham. So, what was the need for Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance? So, it is described that after the disappearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his various Parshad, his chief devotees like Swarup Damodar Goswami, the Ramananda Rai, the sixth Goswami, Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamanand Pandit, then a dark age descended on the world of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And no one was able to understand the pure message of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in fact, there were a lot of heretical sects or apasampradayas. And there was one Babaji, Tota Ram Das Babaji. He showed that there were 13 such apasampradayas. Aul, Baul, Karta Bhaja, Neriya, Daravesha, like that. Atibadi, Churidhari, Gauranga Nagari. Tota kahe, ei tera sanga nahi kori. Means all like these 13 apasampradayas, one should not take their association. Otherwise, one's devotional life will be doomed. So, at that time, almost like 300 years after Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the educated class of Bengal society was shocked and disgusted by the practices of these apasampradayas. And people used to identify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this movement with people from the very, very lower class, uneducated and immoral people. In fact, they had no understanding in the faith of Mahaprabhu. So, by the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he took pity on fallen souls like us and to reclaim them to the path of devotional service and to re-establish the Bhakti movement, he sent his messenger or Bhaktivinoda Thakur to guide us. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually possessed superhuman powers. In fact, in his brief life, he had written more than 100 books in several different languages. And the goal was to defeat the unorthodox views opposed by the doctrines of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, the founder of Sri Chaitanya Mat and the worldwide Gaudiya Mats, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was none other than the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he actually based his entire mission on the books and teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he wanted to fulfill this prophecy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of spreading his holy name throughout the world. So, the contribution of Bhaktivinoda Thakur to our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara is unimaginable. In fact, almost 350 years after the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually came to illuminate the Gaudiya sky. So, devotees are always merciful. They are not bellicose. Actually, the qualities of a devotee, as described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says a devotee is always truthful, he is equal to all, he is faultless, generous, he is mild, he is clean. They are without any material possessions and they work for the welfare of all. They are peaceful, surrendered to Krishna and desireless. They are meek, resolute and completely control the 6 flaws of lust, anger, greed and all. They eat only as much as required and are prudent, respectful and free from false prestige. They are grave, sympathetic, friendly, poetic, expert and silent. So these qualities are described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And all these devotees' qualities are perfectly displayed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur throughout his life of pure devotion. So, we can see that our entire sampradaya of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we owe a lot to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because our entire day's daily routine itself is based on the teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he has written so many books like Vastu Tattva Gyan, Haitik. So, in the 7th Goswami book, in the last section, there is a list of over 100 books which was written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In fact, going through that list itself is means we will find it so difficult, right? And what to speak of going through all these books which was written by him. And so we can understand that he was a Nitya Siddha devotee of the Lord. And in fact, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's two of his disciples, Bhakti Rakshar Sridhar Dev Goswami and His Grace Bhakti Vichar Yayabar Maharaj, they have written hymns in the praise of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in Sanskrit and Bengali. And they are like describing his great contribution to our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So, it says, Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Sahastra Jia Samrajyam Radha Rasa Sudhanidhim. That I bow down to Bhakti Vinod, Mahaprabhu's divine energies personified. He is the emperor of Vaishnava scholars and possesses the ambrosial treasure of Sri Radha's sacred rapture. Bhakti Vinod Prabhu Daya Kore More Tava Kripa Bole Pari Shri Prabhu Pader Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupad Jagate Aniya Dile Kariya Prasad Saraswati Krishna Priya Krishna Bhakti Tara Haya Vinodera Sei Se Vaibhava E Gitera Bhavartha Prabhupada Para Artha E Mora Kari Anubhavo. He says that, O Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, be merciful unto me. By your blessings, I can attain Srila Prabhupada. That is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's shelter. Out of compassion for the world, you brought him with whose heart is filled with devotion to Krishna and who is dearmost to Lord Sri Krishna. This is the glory of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The purpose of this song is to find complete dedication to Srila Prabhupada. So like that, this song goes. And as for Bhaktivinoda Thakur's family history, we can see that he was his father's name was Ananda Chandra Datta and mother's name was Jagamohini Devi. And he was born in Ula, Birnagar, in the homeland of his maternal grandfather. And this was the 352nd year after the birth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the day was Sunday, September 2, 1838. And the Tithiya was Shukla Trayodashi. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was such a great scholar. And as was described, he was a great poet also. We all know, like there are so many songs which have been written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Does anyone know when was the first poem that he wrote for? At what age? Any guesses? When he was only 2 years old. We can't imagine also. At the age of 2, he wrote the first poem. And this display of talent actually gives an indication that he was not a common person. In fact, it gave an indication of the number of songs that he would write. Like today I was just going through our Vaishnava song book. By authors, if you see, the list of songs written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it is innumerable. And And all these songs are full of devotion of the Lord and sacred sentiment, like that they are not the result of this worldly scholarship or creativity, but they are self-manifested in the eternal perfect association of the Lord. When he was only 6 years old, he had learned all the details of the historical epics like Mahabharata, Ramayana, and for a boy of 6 years old, it's quite extraordinary to be able to do this. And he began researching astrological texts when he was 9 years old. And according to his own autobiography, he began inquiring about spiritual truth at the age of 10. Though he was naturally fixed, actually from birth we know that he is a born devotee itself. So later on, he would mix with people from outside in order to find out what preoccupied them, people, and what they thought about. He was fully fixed in devotional service, but he wanted to know what other people are thinking, what they are busy with, like that he wanted to know. So he used to mix with people. But he was always humble. And because of his humility and sweet words, and because of his respectful attitude, he won over all those whom he encountered. So even though he may correct so many people of their mistakes, yet nobody felt offended whenever he pointed out their flaws. And in any argument or any, nobody felt any anger towards him. So that was his great quality. And about his family life, when he was 11 years old, his father actually died, passed away. And so his mother, when he was only 12 years old, as per their custom, she got him married to a 5-year-old girl from Ranaghat. And of course, they were married, so to say, but then it was just like a doll's play, and because it's not that they were living, the boy and girl were living separately. They used to stay with their nanny under their direction and all. So, as far as the studies of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if we see, at the age of 6, he went to study Sanskrit at the Tola of Vidya Vachaspati, and at the age of 7, his grandfather sent him to study in Krishnanagar College. His maternal grandfather died, and his mother had, after that he came to Calcutta and studied in Bhawanipur in the Hindu Charitable Trust School. And after 4 years, he was admitted to the Hindu school in 1856. So he was one of the favorite students of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And one of the first students whom Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar had great affection for. So, but that did not dissuade him even to suggest to his teacher. Once Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, he said that since none of us has ever seen God, so it is best that we don't talk about him. This is what Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar said. So, although he was his student, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he replied back to him that, Pandit Mahashay, why then did you write a book for children's in Bodhayan that God is formless and pure consciousness? If you haven't seen God, then why have you written this about him? God is omnipotent. Don't you think that if he can do anything, that he has the power to maintain a form? So why are you calling him that he is formless? So the Supreme Lord is my eternal master and I am his eternal servant. And this natural affection that we have for the Supreme Lord is called Bhakti, or Brahma Vidya or Paravidya. And in this way, he had a very cordial relationship, but at the same time, he did not refrain from correcting somebody who was not as per the true philosophy. In fact, his grandfather himself had predicted, he prophesied that he is going to become a great Vaishnava. That was in 1858 in Nilachal. And while returned back, he came to Chuttigram, where his grandfather Krishna Vallabh Dutt was living. And after making this prediction, immediately his grandfather actually passed away. And so, on his teacher, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's recommendation, at that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, earlier his name was Kedarnath Datta. So he took the job of teaching in Cuttack Government Secondary School, and in 1860s, he wrote a book on the various religious institutions of Orissa, Mutts of Orissa, which William Hunter made much use of in his study of Orissan literature. And he wrote a work named Sri Chaitanya Gita under the name Sachidananda Premalankar. And based on this only, he was given the title Bhakti Vinod by the Sri Gaudiya Goswami Sangh on the 400th anniversary of Mahaprabhu's appearances. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually, he traveled so many places. And during his career as a school teacher in Midnapur, and then later he went to, he published an English book in English, and from there he went to Chowdanga and Ranaghat, and then he went to Chhapra in Bihar, and on his way to Vrindavan, he was traveling to different places, and he also wrote a speech, he gave a speech on Gautam. So from Chhapra, he went to Purnia in 1868, and from there he went to Dinajpur, where he was engaged as a deputy magistrate. And in Dinajpur, he also helped resolve differences between the Hindus and the Brahmos. And he was, later on, he visited Rup and Sanatan Goswami's home, that is in Ramkeli and Raj Mahal. And from there he came back to Calcutta. And he was very eager to get copies of Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam, but he was not able to find one original transcript. And so he was, somehow after a lot of effort, he got one copy at the Bata Tala Publishing House. And with these, he went to Purushottam Dham, that is Jagannath Puri, and there he fully engrossed himself in the study of Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in this way, he actually fully drowned himself. In fact, he would visit the birthplace, he would visit the Siddha Bakul, which was the place of where, and chant the holy names of the Lord. That was the place of Haridas Thakur. He would always visit Tota Gopinath temple, which was the place where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit, they would always discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. He would also sit over there and absorb himself in Srimad Bhagavatam. And also in Gambhira, which was the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to stay. And in this way, along with his service as magistrate, he would also combine devotional service to the Supreme Lord and absorb himself in that. And in this way, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he was also made the manager of Jagannath Temple, and in the course of his duties, he's actually streamlined, because the services in Jagannath Temple had the systems and had fallen apart, and he re-established the principles of deity worship, the Pancharatika Vidhi, and how the offerings and should be maintained properly, done properly, and cleanliness like that it was established by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And he never tolerated any nonsense in the name of religion. So there is this very famous episode of how he punished Bishikishan. So he was, as a Vaishnava, he was a gentle, as gentle as a rose petal. At the same time, he became a thunderbolt when it came to people who were misusing the name of religion. And in 1871, a member of the Khandait caste and Atibari sect by the name of Bishikishan, he had gained mystic powers. So when he was at that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the district magistrate in Puri, and one of his friends, at that time, Ravan Shah, he had brought his attention to this person who was actually claiming to be a god himself, and he also he was claiming that he was Mahavishnu, and then two of his friends were Brahma and Shiva, and they were living in the forest nearby, like that. And so, in the gullible people of Orissa, they were all, he had a big fan following of them. And in fact, he would also call various women and do Ras Leela over there. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur came to know, he was very angry, and he actually took a few policemen, and actually these policemen were hiding in in the jungle, in the forest. And when he met with Bishikishan, so because of his siddhis, he was able to tell who he was, why he had come over there, and who all had come along with him, and everything he told him, just to impress upon him and to like frighten him. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur was not one who would get frightened by this. In fact, he tried to actually convey to him that you stop all your nonsense activities, otherwise you will get arrested. But then, as time would have, he did not stop from his frivolous activities, and then eventually Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually got him arrested. And then this person, Bishikishan, he actually used his tantric powers to harm him and his family. His daughter, she fell sick. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, he had also fallen sick. And because of that, yet he did not, when he had gone to arrest him at that time, there were sparks of fire which were coming from the head of this Bishikishan. And it was like a full-fledged magic show which was happening. And eventually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he got him into jail, and the trial went on and then eventually he was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment. And while he was being taken, at that time, one of the police officer, he actually understood that most probably all his power is in his hair. And so he shaved him off his hair, and then eventually he lost his power. And when he was actually put in jail, he consumed poison and committed suicide. So in this way, as a true Vaishnavacharya, he could not tolerate any nonsense and deviation. And he upheld, in fact, although his own family and his own health was at stake, he did not give up, because as a true Vaishnava, he wanted to uphold the sanctity of of Vaishnava philosophy. So he was the best of Brahmanas, writing so many Vaishnava literatures, and also the best of Kshatriyas, coming forward to protect the society from all these kinds of elements. And so on this holy day of his disappearance, we can pray at his lotus feet of Bhaktivinoda Thakur to bestow his causeless mercy upon us, and so that we can practice Krishna consciousness and please Srila Prabhupada, his great grand disciple. And also, I'll just take 2 minutes. Today is also the disappearance days of Gadadhar Pandit, who was none other than Srimati Radharani. Actually, Gadadhar Pandit, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not be even one moment away from, because he had so much of love for Gadadhar. And they were, in childhood, they were inseparable, just as when they used to play around. But their natures were totally different. Whereas Gadadhar was always peaceful, renowned, serious, self-composed, and fond of solitude, Gauranga Mahaprabhu was very fickle, unsteady, and whimsical. So, Kavi Karnapur, he states in Vraj Leela, Gadadhar Pandit was none other than the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, that is Srimati Radharani. And he served as Gaura's chief assistant during his Navadip Leela, and Shri Radha Krishna and Vrindavan, they appeared as Gaur Gadadhar to perform the pastimes in Navadip, in the along the banks of Ganga. So, and like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas, Gadadhar Pandit also, he took to the renounced order of life and he went to Jagannath Puri. He was actually 1 year younger to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he accepted Kshetra sannyas and he dedicated himself for the service of Sri Toto Gopinath. There in this Tota Gopinath temple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit, they would always share and read from Srimad Bhagavatam. And although he was, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed away, then although he was at that time only 48 years old, he very quickly in the became old in the intense anguish of and separation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in fact, he was serving Tota Gopinath ji, but he was not able to stretch his hand to offer the dressing and the garlands. So Tota Gopinath ji himself, he sat down for him. And even today, when if we can go and have darshan over there, we can see how Tota Gopinath ji, he is one of the very rare deities where he is sitting. And according to some of the authorities, a short time after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disappearance, Sri Gadadhar Pandit also joined his eternal pastimes by entering this same deity of Sri Tota Gopinath. And his Danta Samadhi is there at Vamshi Gopal temple in Vrindavan. So on this most auspicious day, we can beg for the mercy of Sri Gadadhar Pandit ji, that who is none other than Srimati Radharani, is that he can also bestow his mercy upon us so that we can perfect our life in devotional service and go back to Godhead. Thank you all for your patient hearing. Sorry for being 5 minutes late. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you. So we will be also having Pushpanjali celebrations at 11 a.m. for Bhakti Vinod Thakur, beginning with Kirtan and Bhajans. So please do join us for this festival. Thank you. Hare Krishna.